Hello. Okay, so the topic that I want to explore today is what do we do when we're riding an emotional wave? Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that when we're in a space of feeling a lot of sadness or rage or things that aren't comfortable and we're like, I just want to get out of this. It came up for me because I was in a session this week and I had a dear client of mine say to me, I'm so sick of being sad. I've been in this cycle before. Why haven't I evolved? Why am I not moving beyond that, right? And how many times have you felt that? I felt that. Oh my gosh. You're like, I'm here again? Really? Wow. Okay, great. And what worked with her, which was felt so good to me, was we just let it be okay. We're like, it's okay. You're sad again. Yeah, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's really all right. And when we really sank in together, there was this beautiful shift in both of us. I could feel it. Not only did it move, it really moved really fast, but we were more closer. It was like she was closer with herself. It was like so much love flooded in. And as love beings, we just got to talk about how can we get more love flooding in. I've learned it a lot as a parent. I've talked about this before, this other book that I've mentioned, but I'm going to put a link down below. It's called Listen. It's helped me in my parenting, but it's helped me in my practice, in my marriage, and everything. It really has. And it talks about how we can listen and show up for each other. And what do we do when we ride emotion? It's been very helpful when I'm dealing with my son who's integrating ego, who's landing on planet Earth as almost a 4-year-old. And he gets these waves, right? A tantrum, totally normal developmentally, right? It's just what happens. But what happens, I see in myself and a lot of parents, is that we feel we did something wrong, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I did something wrong. And what if it's right? What if that wave of emotion that he's going through is exactly what he needs to do? And it's a release and it's right on course. And we need to just create the safe structure. No, you can't bite, you can't hit, but I'm going to hold you and I'm going to let you let all this out. And what happens is like the next day, the next hour, like after you go through that, you feel so much of a release. And so I was thinking to myself this morning, what if we gave ourselves permission, right? To do that, because we don't, right? We're constricted, we're constrained. That's how we're programmed. But what if we're like, no, I need a tantrum right now. And that's okay. I'm not going to hit anybody. I'm not going to curse at anybody. I'm not going to that's where we're evolved, right? That's where the evolution comes in. I'm going to be in a love space, but I'm going to let it be okay. It's going to be okay for me to be raging right now or to be sad. Yes, that's what I saw when I was a kid. I see it a lot in men, that they're continuing rage cycles. With women, they're continuing sad cycles. It's like, because that's what they saw, that's what they witnessed. And what we're doing is we're being called to bring more evolution to it. So it's not that these cycles are bad, right? That's what we want to switch here. It's actually incredibly productive of a form of release. Yes, yes, yes. They're actually a good thing, right? Because on the other end, you're closer to the people, you're closer to yourself, you're in that space of love that we can give to each other when we say, it's okay, it's all right, you're going to get through this, let it move through you. It's so ridiculously powerful. 2 other things I wanted to talk about to help us as we're riding an emotional wave. One is touch, right? Touch is so essential for us. So more massage, more hugs, 5 hugs a minimum a day. And you got to be long ones, like 5 to 10 seconds. You add that in, not only will the emotional waves be easier to release and to ride through, but it's going to create that buffer and that self-support, so you maybe not have as much stress in your life, right? Like touch, we are not touching each other as much anymore. We used to live in tribes where we'd cuddle and sleep in big rooms all together. Like that's the way it used to be. And so we're disconnected. And so let's connect more. Let's touch more. Let's touch each other more. Make love to yourself more, right? And if all of this feels far away, connect more with the animal kingdom. I've talked a little bit about this before. I'm also going to put some books down that I just have been really, really inspired by. Amelia Kincaid, Communication with Animals, and really just getting so much wisdom from these furry beings. And a lot of us have pets, but what can help us ride these emotional waves is to hold them more, touch them more, give them your attention. I've given my dog some big stuff, and they do it every single time. I'm like, can you guys work on this? Can you guys do that for me? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. 2 weeks later, they're like, see, told you. I'm like, oh, I forgot, thank you so much. They're there. Now, if you don't have a pet, see if you can hang out with your friend's pet, your family's pet. Go to zoos, go to wild parks, go to places where those animals are trapped and they need love and they need animal communication and they need inspiration. If you can't get there physically, go there astrally, right? We used to be amidst animals all the time, like just out in the trees and the wild with the animals. And so It reminds me of a client. We just started putting birds in their office. It was amazing what's happened, right? It's just this beautiful thing of having animals around. It's so primal. So as you're riding these emotional waves, get really good at supporting yourself with the animals around you. They're here to support you. They're here to love you. They're here to take your stress on. And when we bring consciousness and thanks and gratitude to it, it not only is so appreciative to them and all they're bringing, but it also amplifies their powers and their abilities and gets us feeling really good. So the next time that emotional wave comes up, maybe it's a minute, maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week or a year, really let yourself say, wow, what if this is a good thing? What if I'm cleansing from my field stress and tension that needs to get out? And I don't need to know where it's coming from, or if it's up for the 60 millionth time. That's okay. It's okay. And softening around it, even if you're just chanting your mantras and even if you don't believe it, of just being like, okay, something better is coming. I know this relief is on its way. And letting yourself be open to the receiving of that allowing. Check out my new podcast, soundcloud.com. It's called Love Beings. You can look it up under my name. Check out my new videos. I've got a lot of new videos. My new website. My new book is coming out soon this spring. So exciting. And also I have one more spot in my Sedona retreat. So write to me for special discounted rates on that. And I will get you that. And have a glorious day.